edge of East Asia during the last ice age. Deep in a valley in the northern mountains, a mammoth was born. Soon after her birth, Mamu was attacked by vicious saber-tooths, leaving her permanently disabled. Mamu's first encounter with the world was not an easy one. She had to endure the great winter migration to find a new land to call home. The disabled Mamu was stranded by the river. And her life was threatened yet again. But Mamu and her mother managed to survive, finally crossing that formidable river. For the past 2 million years, the Earth's climate has alternated between deep freezes and interglacial periods of relative thaw. During the Ice Age, the Earth's northern hemisphere was nearly covered with glaciers. But during the interglacial age, forests expanded, covering the vast plains that provided plants that provided sustenance for the herbivores. Mammoths found themselves traveling farther and farther each year in search of food. Spot a giant mammoth herding a pair of younger mammoths. This is our hero, Mamu, and she has now reached the age of 13. One of Mamu's favorite duties is playing with her siblings all day. The young mammoths, carefully observing what Mamu does, are her 3-year-old siblings. For some time, they've been asking Mamu to do something. Now that she has learned survival skills from her elders, Mamu is able to take care of her siblings. She is the leader of these young mammoths. Not long after she was born, she was injured in an attack by saber-tooths. But Mamu has managed to grow into a healthy adult. Meanwhile, her family has grown. 13-year-old Mamu is no longer a baby. She now has brothers and new cousins. Her cousin Gonem has given birth, and Munchi and Mamu have younger siblings. Year-old Munchi is ready for independence. He spends more and more time alone. Male mammoths tend to leave their family at about the age of 15. Out by himself, Mungchi runs into a woolly rhinoceros. Woolly rhinoceroses have very poor vision, but his is compensated by their keen sense of smell. Mungchi is curious about everything, to a fault. The woolly rhinoceros seems to be growing irate. His olfactory senses have detected an intruder in his territory. The curious Mungchi wants to know how a woolly rhinoceros will react to his presence. When a 2-ton creature with sharp horns starts looking irritated, it's probably best to run in the other direction. Woolly rhinoceros, hampered by poor vision, mistakenly takes out his frustration on a tree. But Mungchi's luck may have run out. It seems he's been spotted by this vision-impaired creature. Knowing when to fight and when to flee is an important skill for surviving in the wild. Mungchi has learned an important lesson from this brief one-day outing. He reunites with his family. He realizes he missed his young siblings quite a lot. After this brief flirtation with independence, Mungchi receives a warm welcome from his family. They all realize they won't have many more days to come together as a family like this. While Mamu is distracted, one of her young siblings enters the forest. One might think mammoths are creatures without natural enemies, but even a young mammoth wandering around by itself can become an easy target for vicious predators. This is the first jaunt in the forest for this young mammoth, born just this spring. The youngster becomes lost and soon becomes exhausted. This experienced predator never acts in haste. An alarmed Mamu searches every corner of the forest for her lost sibling. But her sibling unwittingly heads deeper into the forest. The vicious creature chasing after the baby mammoth is called a cave lion. Humans in our day named it that because its fossils were found mostly in caves. Lions abounded even here on the edge of East Asia. Lions originated in Africa, but they spread by land to many parts of the Old World. Most of them, however, disappeared in the Ice Age, with a few species surviving today in Africa and India. The cave lion, tracking its future meal, follows behind the young mammoth. Mamu spots her baby sibling, but there's nothing she can do except watch the carnage from a distance. A saddened Mamu turns away and leaves the forest. Lately, the matriarch of Mamu's band has been worried by the top of the nearby mountain. She knows what the smoke from the summit means. Sooner or later, this band of mammoths will have to leave the plain. As their anxiety grows about the stewing volcano, an uninvited guest approaches the band. From the shape of its tusks, it appears to be a male. Mammoths look for mates during the summer. When the time for mating comes, males living in solitude visit groups of females. This male visitor is showing an interest in corn apples. But Gonem is not reciprocating. She's the healthiest female in her band. She gave birth last year and is still nursing her young. It is a natural instinct for nursing mothers to be hostile to male strangers. But Mamu shows interest in this male visitor. Mammoth's first mating experience typically occurs from age 11 to 15. 13-year-old Mamu is just the right age to settle down and mate. The male visitor wonders whether Mamu is mature enough to bear offspring. It's early morning. The two stout males confront each other over the affections of a female. One is the male visitor from the day before, while the other is yet another new arrival. Is a veteran champion of many mating battles. The other contender is a young mammoth fighting for a mate for the first time since he left his band. Mamu's family watches this fierce confrontation from a distance. It is a battle fought between two 6-ton beasts. This fight will last for several hours. It usually ends when one challenger dies or both are too severely injured to keep going. One example of such battles, 2 fossilized mammoths were found in Siberia, their tusks entangled in battle. The younger male becomes severely wounded in one eye. He decides it's best to give up the fight. If it were a female mammoth who was injured, she would be cared for by her family. But it isn't easy for a solitary young male to go through life with an eye missing. The veteran champion maintains his pride and gets his chance at the female. If he succeeds at winning Mamu's affection, their offspring will be born in 22 months. Mamu, who survived injury and made it to adulthood, will finally become a mother. On the plain. For creatures of the Ice Age, rain is not a welcome sight. The mammoths find shelter under a tree. During the 2 million years of the Ice Age, the climate shifted between the Great Ice Age, the Little Ice Age, and several interglacial periods. The Earth's average temperature during the main interglacial age was about 6 degrees Celsius higher than during the deepest part of the Ice Age. Dramatic climate changes brought tragic results to the animals that lived then. The rain is beginning to pour. One of the most crucial characteristics of climate change is unpredictable weather. Long, bitter winter gradually subsided, while summertime droughts become more severe. Flooding became commonplace in spring. Floods have caught this cave lion by surprise. He's heading home after a hunt. The path home is now inundated. Because of the pouring rain, the river has swollen to a dangerous level. Back in their cave, her two cubs are anxiously awaiting their mother. The mother lion manages to make it back home. But she finds her cave was flooded by the rising water. In the distance, however, she hears the plaintive cry of her young. The mother locates her cub through its cry. She has managed to save her baby. She knows the other is probably buried in the mud, but she has no choice but to give up on it, and she leaves the old cave. Right now, her focus is on protecting the one that has been saved. The smoke coming off the mountain is making the mammoths feel uneasy. The mammoth matriarch in particular is disturbed by the sight of the smoke plume. She's getting older and has difficulty walking. The old matriarch wonders if the rest of her brood will escape disaster after she passes on. Overnight, the volcanic activity has gotten worse. Mamu's family gathers together in a safe haven in the valley below. The matriarch has led the band for many years, but now she is facing the final hours of her long life. Every one of the members of this band is one of her descendants, born youngsters to mature granddaughters and aging daughters. Many have been with her for decades. After the matriarch dies, the eldest daughter will become the new leader. She has served her band for many years as a wise and dedicated leader. The matriarch passes away. Her band falls into a deep state of mourning. But they know it's time to escape. They must take their sad emotions with them. If they stay here any longer, they might all be killed. Mamu keeps a respected grandmother in her memory. The impending volcanic eruption has created dangerous conditions for the mammoths. But for now, the mammoths are safe. Even Mamu, our story's hero, is safe. Now the responsibilities to lead the band are placed on the shoulders of a new leader. It's time to leave this erupting mountain. It is time again for a long trek. Two years have now passed. It is summer, and so far the land has not seen a single drop of rain. For the animals of the Ice Age, summer is becoming a tougher and tougher season. Creatures not accustomed to such dry conditions leave the area one by one in a quest to find water and plants. The animals left behind are the old and the sick, like the woolly rhinoceros or old predators who can't keep up on a long journey and difficult journey elsewhere. Despite its age and weakened condition, the woolly rhinoceros is not the kind of easy target the lion would dare attack. But in these difficult times, the rules of power have changed. Mammoths who evolved to withstand the extreme cold of the Ice Age, the heat and drought bring terrible discomfort. Mamu and her band are on a path headed north in search of greener pastures. The band spends the night on a mountain trail at the edge of a cliff. Mamu's daughter, born this past spring, shows the tenacity she needs to keep up with her mother. Meanwhile, human evolution has progressed over the Ice Age. For mammoths, creatures who lived so long ago without any natural enemies, people have emerged as a threat, since they possess knowledge of fire and tool making. This mountain trail is a gateway to the north. They must pass through it. The band planned to pass over the mountain before sunset, but they ended up having to spend the night here. The mammoth is a useful animal to the humans. They can use it to build shelters and make clothing as well as to eat. The human attack has begun. Are in a spook state, lure them off the cliff. The unimaginable has suddenly become a painful reality. All the elder mammoths are killed. 15-year-old Mamu is now the leader of this band. Mamu has no idea what to do with her 5- and 6-year-old siblings, not to mention her 6-month-old daughter. She feels impotent and vulnerable. But Mamu eventually realizes she will be the one who leads them to the cool northern regions. She is now the matriarch of this band. Their long journey is monotonous and boring. Mamu's young charges become easily distracted. During the interglacial period, melting glaciers cause the sea level to rise. Farther inland, changing weather patterns turn some rivers and lakes into vast swamps. Those swamps are full of potential dangers, but the young mammoths have no way of knowing such things. Almost inevitably, an accident occurs. A dismayed mother, Mamu, rushes to save her youngster's aid. Mamu desperately tries to save her child. Stuck in the muddy swamp, the youngster is unable to move. Mamu sees her worst fear play out right before her eyes. This baby mammoth, on the earth for just 6 short months, disappeared right in front of her mother and her family. Half a day has passed. Mamu can't bear to let her smoke. But finally, reluctantly, she begins to move. She's the matriarch now. She knows all too well that she is the only one who can lead this shrinking band to the cool northern region. From the time of Mamu's mother, and even her mother's mother's generation, and even from long before then, these mammoths have always been on the move like this. The mammoths cannot foretell what changes the shifting climate will bring to them. They simply keep walking to avoid hunger and the increasing heat that seems to be chasing them. The Ice Age ended about 10,000 years ago. By the time it finished, most of the mammoths also saw their time on Earth come to a close. Today, they are gone.